Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to talk Bulldog volleyball, and with us head coach Tia Brandel-Wilhelm. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having us.
We just talked with soccer, and we talked about how obviously you had a spring season and now right into the fall season, and a little more traditional schedule for your team.
Yeah, this is more traditional, but what a quick turnaround. Like, you just didn't really, like, you knew it was going to be fast, but until you went through that, like, we just got done playing. We didn't really get any skill training time. As soon as our season was done, you know, we were right into finals and everything. And then you get into your busy summer, and we had to catch up on recruiting because we missed it all during the winter. And yeah, and then all of a sudden here we are back at it again.
Obviously back at it at home this past weekend, and tradition continues, the annual Ferris State Volleyball Invitational, and nice to have 9 teams in, counting the Bulldogs here this past weekend.
Yeah, it was a great tournament. I think of the 9, 7 of the 9 were either in the preseason rankings or getting votes in the preseason rankings. So it was just a really high-level competition, and it was really fun. I mean, there were a lot of really great matches, and I was just impressed with all the coaches and the players. I thought there was just a lot of sportsmanship, but there was also just that idea that we're back competing, and it just felt really great to be competing volleyball again.
Obviously, your team off to a 3-1 start. Got a big win over Tiffin on Thursday to start the weekend, then a couple wins on Friday, and a tough match against a very good Winona State team to round out the tournament on Saturday.
Yeah, I think I think the weekend was good for us. We're definitely very curious. Like, we don't really have a sense of what we're going to do. We don't go into matches thinking, oh yeah, we've got this or not got this or anything. I think it's just, we're just really curious and trying to figure out who we are and how we're going to be in different scenarios. So it was really fun to see us do well in some scenarios, and yet it was super exciting. Even, we didn't play great against Winona. We obviously got a loss there, but we also were able to learn some things and kind of test ourselves in some situations. So it was kind of fun to even have that opportunity.
How nice was it to be back in your own gym and obviously with fans, something you didn't have a whole lot of last spring?
Yeah, last spring, without fans in the gym, it just always felt a little bit like a scrimmage, or just, it kind of didn't have that game feel. But for sure, to have all those fans in attendance and the excitement that they brought, and just to have that level of play and our fans be able to be there was really exciting.
Obviously some highlights of this weekend, and you faced a nice variety of competition in terms of you had St. Leo from Florida, you had some regional competition, and a nice max of opponents here on the weekend.
Yeah, we sure did. It was really fun. It was just, there's a good variety of teams at the tournament, so it was really fun to see. And there's a little bit different style of play sometimes around the country, so it was kind of fun to see that too. Obviously,
you had a couple freshmen last spring. How much did that experience in the spring help some of those kids that are coming back, still freshmen for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. What we really want is, it would have been nice to have like 3 weeks of just training time. I know we could do some training over the summer, but with our players and where they lived, it just really wasn't possible for us to do much of that. But so we still are in the scenario that we're very young and we haven't really built on the skills. So we're still, kind of building that into our season more than we normally would.
How different has it been not having a whole lot of time going from the spring to the fall and trying to mix in some new freshmen that are true freshmen?
Yeah, yeah. So we get into our preseason here, and we have 17 players, and 14 of them had never been in a preseason before. So, just so much youth and lack of experience. And so it was just like learning all the things we do in preseason, learning what we do in the fall, learning how we travel. Like, there's just so many questions every time we do anything.
Obviously, one of the players that had some experience for you, Katie O'Connell, had a big weekend, named the GLIAC Player of the Week.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. Katie is, a fifth-year senior now, and just has really upped her game. She really worked hard, even this summer on her own, worked really hard on her skills, worked on her fitness a lot, and is definitely playing some good volleyball here. What I really love with Katie is how well she's leading the people around her, because it's a pretty young crew, and she does a really nice job of just kind of making sure everybody's in the right place, and whether it's on the court or off the court, and doing the things that that they should be doing.
How do these matches against this type of competition help prepare you here over the first couple weekends before you get into conference play?
Yeah, for sure, important. We're playing, I think, of our first 8 opponents, 6 of them are in the rankings or getting votes, in the national rankings. So 6 really, really, really high-ranked teams. And that's what we're going to see in our conference play, because there'll probably be 5 or 6 teams in the conference that are in the ranking, or at least getting votes for the ranking. And so being able to play this level early, it's a little frustrating because you'd like to be a little smoother in your play, but it's also, the challenge is really helping us define what we have to do to be better, so that when we get into conference play, we're a little more ready for that.
Obviously, we mentioned the big win over Tiffin. We saw the highlights of the St. Leo match. You beat Missouri St. Louis, and here against Winona State, you dropped that first set, but your kids responded back and really competed. Yeah,
we really dropped that first set, 25-10. That's just a smoke in there. I thought actually that it didn't even phase the team. They lost it, and they came back to the to the bench and just regrouped and did so much better in the second set. Like, just a really big change. And I'd say a big change really for the rest of the match.
Obviously, taking on Winona State right here and in your home gym, but long road trip coming up this weekend as you'll get ready to travel to Tyler, Texas to face 4 more quality opponents.
Yeah, for sure. 4 more really good teams and a long trip, and flight times are hard, and flying in the COVID eras, gives us different challenges. So it's good. I think it'll be a really good experience, but definitely a good challenge for us.
Speaking of the whole COVID thing, talk about how your kids have really kind of handled that from the spring and now into fall camp and into the fall season.
Yeah, I think it's an ever-changing thing, and probably the biggest thing for all of us in COVID has been that we've just learned to be more flexible. And whereas we used to have a schedule, and if anything changed or things didn't go our way, we might get a little irritated with that or frustrated. Now it's like, we're changing practice in an hour to 2 hours from now. No worries. Like we just adapt and overcome what we have to. And I think everyone's just a little easier to make those changes.
Obviously a long trip with 4 matches this weekend, but what type of an experience will this be in terms of the team bonding for a young team?
Yeah, really good. I mean, again, almost nobody on the team has ever flown with the team before and taken a long trip. Almost everybody, 14 of the 17 players have only played conference opponents. And so just to get out and play some other opponents, to get to a different part of the country, get a chance to travel and be in the fans and, just be together as a team, I think that's a really important thing for us right now, because we're so young and we're trying to figure out our relationships and get to know each other better. So we're really excited for that.
Well, Coach, congrats again on the 3-1 start. Best of luck as you travel to Texas this weekend, and safe travels.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this episode of Ferris Sports Update. Reminder, you can follow all the action online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.